Let me try that. So the only thing that's going to be weird is there's going to be an echo on my phone because I'm going to hear myself. Let me see if it works.
Just turn the volume down on your computer.
I do. I have it down on my computer. But I'm like talking and I hear myself through my phone. Does that make sense? Like I'm talking as I hear myself. Look, there I am.
You need to mute yourself on.
I have myself muted on the computer, but my computer's still taking in my voice. Does that make sense? Okay, wait, does that work?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, you guys. Okay. Okay, so today we're going to talk about Instagram, but before we do that, we're going to do some quick announcements. So first of all, the new Balance and Restore bundle was released earlier last week. So this means your new customers can get started on CBD twice for only $99, which is a huge, huge deal. And then after that, it's $159 for the 2 products, but everything is mix and match. So hold on, I'm gonna stop that for a second. And so I just kind of want to run through like how they're doing this. Am I still good, you guys? Can someone just like let me know if I'm not? Because I'm like,
yeah, we hear you.
Good. Okay, good. So month 1, they get their products for only $99, which is, it depends on which bundle they get, but that's about 50% off. Like if they were to get like 2 jars of jellies, which is what I think is a great one, is the broad spectrum in the morning and the full spectrum at night. If you're not sure what to start with, I really like those 2, and it's like a really, really good deal. And then month 2, it goes to $159, but if they don't need the same products, you could recommend like maybe swapping out the collagen or trying something else. And then month 3, free shipping kicks in. And then month 4, they're going to get a discount on another product that I don't think we quite know what that is yet, but it said select, products like pain cream. I think the sleep jellies were maybe a part of that. And so I just wanted to cover like how to find this bundle. Like if you're going to send somebody a cart, you want to go to your back office and you're going to click the empty cart. So you're not going to add anything to it, and then go down and you'll see it where you can copy it and send it to somebody. If you're going to send them like, 3 products or more products, you're going to go add them first and then go to your cart, and then you'll see you just adds that to it. So I just wanted to make sure for people that are newer, that's how you find that. We have on the 26th a huge announcement. So is that on Thursday? Is that Thursday, you guys? Yeah. So I believe, Katie, correct me if I'm wrong, but 1 p.m. Eastern time, huge announcement. So be on that meeting. You're going to find the link in your team thread, or you can go to the Facebook group. It'll be live streamed in there.
It's actually 12.
Is it 12 Eastern?
Yeah.
Okay, 12 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you. Can someone shoot the link into the Slack group?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. All right, here we go with our Instagram training. Okay, so first I want to say, like, I'm not like an Instagram, anything like that. I just really want to grow my Instagram page. So what's happened is I've got a lot of I'm gonna see if that works. I've basically been following a lot of coaches. I've worked with one. Oops, I don't want to present. So I'm kind of compiling what I've learned so far and what I've put into practice and what I feel is working. I'm going to do presenter view so I can read my notes. So here we go. Okay, so we're gonna figure this mystery out together because it's kind of tricky, and I feel like Instagram has changed a lot over the past. I mean, I only really got started with this like a couple of years ago. I feel like I joined Instagram and was overwhelmed by Reels around the time that, you know, people were like, had been posting Reels for a long time. So it's kind of harder to grow your account now than it was if you were posting Reels like 2 or 3 years ago, if that makes sense. So here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about Reels and things to know about them. We're going to talk about your niche and your bio just a little bit, but that could be like a whole day of training. So hopefully you've kind of got your niche figured out, like who you're helping and with what. If not, you can spend today working on that, if that makes sense. And then you'll just come back and maybe watch this later. We're going to come up with 3 to 5 different content pillars within our niche so that we have some really good ideas of things to talk about. And then we're going to plan 10 to 30 reels with good hooks. So like the kind that people, you know, they watch them. So how are you feeling? I want you to let me know in the chat, like, how are you feeling when it comes to your Instagram content strategy? You can do emojis or let us know. I just kind of want to see where everybody is at. When it comes to your content strategy on Instagram and what you're posting, like, are you feeling really good about it? Are you like so confused? Okay. I also just want to say, because a lot of us on this team did a training with a coach a couple of years ago, and she taught us 5 content pillars, but like the things that she taught us as far as Instagram goes are already outdated. So we're going to kind of talk about that too, but she had taught us that, like, you know, a content pillar could be basically anything that you feel like talking about, and that's not really working. So we'll talk about that too. How are your reels doing overall? You know, I think everyone has a different idea of like what is good for a reel, but like, you know, when you post your reels, generally, are you happy with like the engagement they're getting, or how many views, or how many likes? I know I don't know how to do it so that I can see the notes, but you guys can't. I do have notes I need to read though. That's why. I'm sorry.
Okay. You can share the audience window.
If it gives you that option, and then we don't see your notes, but it's not a big deal.
Okay. Well, you can take notes on my notes.
Perfect.
Where are most of your sales coming from? I'm just curious, you guys. Are they coming from Instagram? Are they coming from Facebook? Are they coming from in-person events? Maybe face-to-face conversations? Maybe you just are chatty? Love to hear where your sales are coming from. Awesome. I know when I first got started in my business, most of my sales came from Facebook because those are people who already knew me. But once I got Instagram rolling, I started getting a lot of sales from Instagram and meeting new people. So I love Instagram because it is a great place to meet new people. Okay, so let's talk about Reels a little bit here. So the reason I'm going to focus on Reels today is because they're the quickest way to grow your Instagram account if you're wanting to just get in front of more people. People are watching over 4 billion Reels every single day right now. Something else I've learned is that when it comes to Instagram, just like anything else in our life, right? Consistency is key. And it's actually better to post like once a week. Like if you were going to post on Instagram, you're like, I can only post on Fridays, whatever. You post a reel once a week, you're going to do better than someone that comes in and posts for 5 days in a row for 2 weeks, like 2 weeks, Monday through Friday, and then ghosts for 2 weeks and then comes back. Like you will do better doing that. So think about like what you can consistently do. The Instagram coaches all say to post 7 to 10 reels a week. That can be kind of overwhelming, especially if you have like a full-time job too. So, you know, I think shoot for 5 to 7 or 3 to 5, something like that, but do what you can do consistently. The early trending audios do help your reels a lot. It's not like the only thing, but it will help you a lot. So we're going to talk about that. Yeah, Leah posts a lot of reels. I don't know how you do that many, but we will learn from you next week because you're going to tell us how you fit all of this in with your full-time job. So when it comes to looking for the early trending audios, like some of the Instagram coaches are saying like under 500 uses of that audio with like the main, like when, you know how like when you click on a trending audio, it'll show you like the original one is like the one in the upper left, you know, the first one. If that has gotten over 1 million views, that's like a trend, like that's a good trending audio. But then look at how many times it's already been used. If it's already been used like 23,000 times, like I wouldn't bother using that one. Now, Christina, who taught us a few weeks ago, she says, try to keep them under 500. I say under 1,000, but like still, if that audio has been used less than 10,000 times, it's not necessarily early trending audio anymore, but it's still like a good trending audio. So, you know, don't feel like don't stress yourself out looking for the ones under 500. However, the more often you do that, like if you're just scrolling through reels and you just click the audio right away, like Instagram has already picked up that I want those like lower trending audios. It's really interesting. The content you're putting out does have to match your bio, or your reel that you spent all that time on isn't going to convert to new followers. So like if Carol's putting out reels about, you know, how she's, you know, dealing with midlife and like hormonal fluctuations and what kind of exercises are helping her. And like, I like that reel. And then I go to her bio and it's all about like her dog or something like that. It's like dog lover and, you know, weird, like that wouldn't match that. And Carol's bio is great. It does match the content she puts out, but I'm just giving you an example. Like if you've ever done that, like you were like, wait, why would I follow that person? That would be weird. So we got to work on that too. The hooks for, Instagram, you have to have a good hook in your reels to keep their attention, to keep them watching. And then the other thing that I learned from Christina, and I don't think she mentioned this, is that filters are out. Like people do not want overly filtered filters on Instagram. They really just want to see your real face, even if you have a pimple or your skin tone is uneven, like they want that now, you know. It does look really fake. If you're going to use a filter, try to use one that doesn't like alter your face, you know. The ones where it's makeup on you are like the worst, like absolutely not. Don't do those. Okay. So let's go to your niche and bio, and we're going to just this right here. This is pretty consistently been what you should have in your bio for probably the past at least 8 months to a year. You want to avoid like super fluffy, like I don't know, live, laugh, love is an example of something you wouldn't put in there. That has nothing to do with like how you can help people. So you want to have your name and then the searchable keywords. So and we're going to do this in our brainstorming in a little bit. So you can always come back to this, but like, what is your ideal client searching for? Like when they go to Google, like what are they typing in? Because you have to think like through their lens, like what problem, because I had this problem too. Like when I was trying to help moms with postpartum anxiety, I had this realization that like when I had postpartum anxiety and I didn't know what it was, I wasn't going online and searching postpartum anxiety. I was like Googling other things. Like I was Googling like how to keep my child from choking, like all of these like fears I had. And then like I'd Google like how to sleep at night, like how to fall asleep. So I wasn't searching for that. So kind of keep that in mind. Your niche could be like too specific. So, I mean, think about that as well. You want to talk to like a very specific group, but it could be too specific. Like if you've been doing that for a while and it just doesn't seem to be working. Let's see. A good thing to do is with your niche is make sure you can find a few other accounts, like really big accounts within your niche. So if mine is like mental health, I was able to find like a lot of mental health accounts well over 100,000. I was able to find like anxiety specific accounts. So I know that that's a niche that people do need help with. I know like there's a lot of low tox people on here. So low tox, like that can definitely be a niche. You could probably narrow it down a little bit, like low tox living for, moms of small children or something like that. There's also the ones where it's like low tox, but like a little bit more relaxed. So however you want yours, think about that too. So this I kind of talked about. So language you're using in your reels. I noticed this is kind of what I already said, but like you want to be talking to your ideal client, not necessarily an expert in that field, if that makes sense. So I noticed when I was using things like nervous system and anxiety or other words that like therapists use, but not like people who need therapy. And I'm not a therapist, but make sure you're talking to that person. And Katie and I have talked about this too, because overstimulated moms like are overstimulated moms like searching overstimulation, or do they even know what they're feeling? Or they just know that they're like fed up, and they're about to blow their lid. So that was kind of a reality check for me. And if you know how to do this, when you were going through whatever it was you were going through and you were struggling with it, like you can go to your search browser and like look at that time. I haven't figured out how to do this, but someone else said that they went and they were able to see what they searched for when they were dealing with like postpartum depression and they didn't know they were depressed. Okay, so your bio should not mention anything about CBD or Green Compass. Just because when people come to your profile, we're starting to become more well-known. You don't want to be them to be like, oh, she just sells stuff. You want them to stay. So I don't even put anything like Hope and Hemp or Hope Dealer in there, because that's not really what I want to be known for. So just think about that too. You do want a call to action in your Instagram bio, and it can look different for everybody, but I do think it's nice to create like a little freebie that you can have in there. Like, if you're a low tox account, it could be like your first 10 swaps or something like that, or the biggest 10 swaps you can make within your home, whatever, something like that. That's like free. And if you do email and you want to funnel them into email, you could do that. But if you don't, you can just have like a freebie, PDF that goes to Canva or something like that for them. That's just going to build your like, no trust factor with somebody. Like you gave them a free thing. They're more likely to purchase from you because you did that, because they, felt like that's not all you want to do is sell to them. Okay. So now we're going to brainstorm. So hopefully you at least have your bio or your niche. So let's brainstorm for like, do you guys think like 5 minutes is enough to just write down like all your ideas of everything you could possibly post about within your niche? And if you kind of have a good handle on this, you can go to your Instagram and go through your reels and look at the ones that have done really well and like kind of study them and see what do you think went well? Was it a really good hook? Was it the content that was really good? Maybe that topic is something that you want to be posting more of. So you can check that out too. So I'll go ahead and set my timer for 5 minutes. I Okay, we're gonna go ahead and just kind of wrap that up. Was that enough time for most of you to just kind of brain dump? Okay, perfect. So now what we're gonna do is look at all the things you wrote down and see if you can kind of put them into 5 content pillars. And it doesn't have to be 5, it can be less than 5. So I'll just give you some examples of like kind of what I have been doing. So mine is mental health for moms. And so a lot of what has been working for me is posting about thoughts that I'm having. So I have like a content pillar could be like thoughts and feelings maybe. I've been posting a lot about intrusive thoughts or worst case scenarios and things like that. I think that resonates with moms. Another one could be supplements that can help you feel calm. Different kinds of supplements or natural solutions could be like one big content pillar. Strategies, different like strategies they can do. I think another content pillar can be like awareness, like mental health, like awareness in motherhood. That's kind of what I have. I'm open to ideas too, because I think it's kind of hard to fit like all of these ideas into content pillars. But if anyone wants to share any that they put together, would love to hear them. Yeah, Louise. So with Instagram, you just kind of want to think of like, what do you kind of want to be known for over there? It's a lot different than Facebook. So really helping people like solve a pretty specific problem. And I connected you with like Carol and Abby, and they are really good about sharing like about midlife. Not that you have to pick that one, but like that's kind of what they help women with. And I kind of focus on mental health and motherhood because that's where I'm at with my journey and what I feel like I can help people with. So it's really just about like, what do you feel that you could post on that you're pretty knowledgeable on, that you feel like you could solve people's problems, and CBD can fit somewhere in there, you know? It doesn't have to be all about CBD. It shouldn't be all about CBD. Okay. So, and also I just want to say this too, like if you're on here and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed by all this Instagram stuff, like I'm not even on Instagram, like take a step back. I didn't post on Instagram for like a year when I was doing Green Compass. I pretty much did everything on Facebook. So don't feel like this is something you have to do if you're not ready. And I did great with sales on Facebook, like I said, for like a year. So you can do that too. Okay, so this is kind of like your real formula. You want lots of B-roll footage. That just means like video footage of you just doing like everyday life. It can be like footage of you cooking. You could be walking behind your kids going for a walk, grocery shopping, literally whatever. Yeah, Becca, having a wide and narrow appeal. Yeah, so I think what that means, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, but that would be like mental health, like women's mental health, right? But then, so that's like my wide net. But then when they go to my page, it's all about like I'm a mom of small children. So that's like my narrow focus. Does that make sense? So it can be, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be like, because the reel will reach a lot of people in different age ranges, and you'll get people still following you, but like moms of toddlers are probably going to really connect with me as opposed to like a woman that's in college, you know? But yes. Okay, so B-roll footage, like saving that, maybe have an album of B-roll footage. You can use the same footage like again and again, but it's good to have lots of different, to go along with the seasons and what you're doing in life. Then you want the hook. to get them interested in what you're talking about and get them to read the caption. Okay, your caption should be helpful. If you read it when you were struggling, would it be helpful to you, or would you be confused by it? So kind of think about that. Like, make sure you're providing value in that and you're not just like whipping it up and slapping the caption on like it doesn't matter. Because I think, back when we did a lot of talking in reels and lip syncing and stuff, like the captions didn't need to be as long, but right now, like that's what's trending. And not that you have to have a longer caption, but the longer your caption is, if they were clicking and wanting to read that right away, your reel is going while they're reading it. And if it's a shorter reel, like a 5 to 8 second reel, like it's going to go a few times, and that boosts your views up, and that tells Instagram that people like your content, which is good. If they're reading it, they like it. And then you want to put a call to action in your caption. So once they've read through it, it's like, okay, well, now what do I do here? And we'll talk about that a little bit too. So we don't want people to feel like they're being sold to in the reels. We want to provide the value, but also we can offer a solution in what we sell as well. So keep that in mind too. So I just want to give this an example. So like, you can educate on CBD and how it helped you solve a problem without saying like all the reasons that you need to buy my CBD, I mean, I think there's a time and a place for that. And I think that's usually in stories. But like saying that CBD helped you with something, or educating on CBD is not like salesy or spammy, because you're not saying, oh, you have to buy mine though. You can't buy anybody else's. It has to be mine. Like that is salesy or spammy, but like educating on different types of CBD or what makes a high quality CBD, that's not salesy or spammy. So you can kind of keep that in mind. Okay. So right now I want to am I like doing okay here? Or am I losing people? I hope you guys can see this because I know it's small. I can try to do the full screen for this because I'm done with my notes. I put together 30 different hooks. So I thought we could just kind of start here. How much time do we have? We don't have a lot of time left. Go through these, and based off of what content you kind of came up with, like in your brainstorm, can you think of some reels that you could do, and start writing them out? See if we can get at least 10. Let me get this full screen for you. And I wanted to say something else. Present full screen. I've seen some people with like reels that have like a good hook, but it's not telling me what I'm going to get in the caption necessarily. And so I don't go to see it. Like it'll be like, I can't believe I'm telling you this. And then like there's nothing else in the reel. And then they want me to click on their caption. Well, I don't even know what I'm reading about. You know what I'm saying? So you got to kind of give people a bit of a clue with what they're getting into if they're going to take the time to read your caption. Like, I can't believe I'm telling you about my mental breakdown over the weekend. I don't know. I'm just giving you an example. Someone that's dealing with mental health, that's like struggling with that, might be like, oh my gosh, what's this mom dealing with? I had a really good reel, like where I talked about an intrusive thought I had, and like that one went viral. But I said in the thing, I'm like, this is like, I'm talking about this intrusive thought. And then I said, if you want to know what the thought was, like, you can read the caption. I directed them to the caption. We'll just go ahead and take some time to write out some of those. I'm gonna go to the next slide. Is that okay, guys? Which is just more hooks. If I can figure out how to move this thing. The like why you shouldn't pick me as your blank one. So like let's say you're a health coach like Bristol. Like she's gonna say like why you shouldn't pick me as your health coach, and she's gonna list all the things she's like not gonna like expect, like the maybe like the more unreasonable things, you know. Okay. I think this is the problem Jess had last time, isn't it? When she wanted to go to the next slide.
Yeah.
I think I just quit a share and then restarted it and it fixed it.
Okay. We're gonna be done in like 4 minutes. Okay, so I will see if I can get up so you can see the next, but I will post these in both of our team threads so that you still get to see all these. And I was just gonna share, there's one more of these. And then can you guys let me know in the chat, like if you got some good things written down, if you're feeling good about this? And then I have one here with call to actions. So at the end, like I said, at the end of your caption, at the end of your reel, you want to have, you got to tell them something to do. So I think it's good before you post your reel, like, you know what you want them to do. So like, as you're like writing down these different ideas for reels, like maybe put a note, like, what do you want them to do? Like, is this one to get more followers? Is this one to funnel them into your email? Because if I'm talking about my bedtime routine, I have like a free journal prompt in mine, which is really good for evening to help, unwind and get things off your mind so you sleep good. So that could be a way for me to be like, if you're still struggling with sleep, comment journal, and I'll send you my, a link to my free download to do your own, it's a prayer journal is what I have. So kind of have that in mind. And I have a milkshake. And so in my milkshake, I have my free download first. I actually have like 2 free downloads because I had an old one, then I updated it to the journal. I just think, I don't know, I like the journal. Anyways, then underneath of that, I have my quiz, my CBD product match. If you don't have one of those, we have a training on that. And it's really easy to set up through what is it called, you guys? Why can't I think of it? Is it Jotform?
Yeah, I
Is that
think,
what it's called?
yeah,
Yeah.
or Google form.
Or Google Form. But it's so much better than just having your Green Compass link there, because anyone clicks your Green Compass link, they're just going to get overwhelmed. Then they're going to look at prices. They're not going to understand the quality. They're going to think like this is just overpriced CBD. Like they're not going to understand the value in it. So just having your form is like, it's nice because they can just tell you what they're dealing with. And then you can come back with like, here's 2 products for $99. So I would definitely suggest create a Jot form. And if you're not sure what questions to put in your Jot form, you can just go to mine. So my Instagram is Calm Minded Mom with periods in between. You can go look at mine or Jess Lawrence's and just copy your questions. No reason to reinvent the wheel. Does anyone have questions about any of this? I know this was like a lot and we probably could have spent like 2 hours on this, and maybe we'll come back to it again, but anyone have any questions? Sorry, Luis. Luis has like never done anything on Instagram. So this might've been like, yeah, this might've been too much. Yeah, this is like step 100. Step 1 is just sharing on social media. I would say just focus on Facebook by now. Like maybe set up your Instagram on the bio. Yeah. Thanks, you guys. I'm glad it was helpful. Okay. Well, I hope everyone has a really good week. If you do have questions, feel free to reach out to me and I will clarify for you. Okay. Bye.
Thanks, Sam.